Forget gimmicks. Walking measurably changes your body. Here's how walking drives fat loss. No hype. And the myths you can stop following now. In fitness, noise is rampant. Evidence matters. One tool stands out for access and efficacy. Walking. No contracts, no machines, no gatekeepers, no specialized gear beyond shoes that fit. No rigid timetable, just repeatable sessions. We walk daily. Done right, it becomes training. This fundamental movement improves health markers consistently. It sharpens mood and cognition, and supports weight management when programmed. For millions, deliberate walking started real change. It pairs with smarter choices to reshape composition. A simple behavior with outsized documented returns. Forget extremes. Clarity beats intensity theater. Walking cuts through the noise with proven outcomes. Low impact, scalable, and sustainable for busy lives. Lunch breaks, weekend loops, stairs, opportunities, not afterthoughts. Each step compounds toward a defined objective. That simplicity makes adherence and results possible. But simplicity is often misunderstood. Chasing arbitrary step targets misses the point. So does expecting dramatic change without a plan. Truth. Walking builds the base and nudges fat loss. Its impact rises inside a complete strategy. No magic numbers, just structured progression. Shift from counting to programming your walks. This guide shows you exactly how. We focus on data, not slogans. You'll learn walk structure, nutrition pairing, and strength. Not quick fixes, a practical, evidence-led method. Build a plan that fits your life, no fluff. Foundation first, brisk walking, 150 to 300 minutes weekly. That's 5 by 30 or 3 by 50. Lock it in. Pair it with strength twice a week. Push, pull, hinge, squat, carry. Body weight works, progress reps or tempo first. Nutrition powers fat loss, small calorie deficit, protein each meal, plants and fiber, water on repeat. Make it automatic, walk after meals, run errands on foot, take stairs by default. Simple template, week 1 to 2, 5 brisk 30s, strength on Tuesday and Friday. Week 3 to 4, keep 5 sessions, add 1 hill or interval day, or extend 1 walk by 10 minutes. Pace check, talk in short sentences. That's RPE 6 to 7 out of 10. Optional, heart rate zone 2 to 3 or a brisk pace you can repeat tomorrow. Track the basics, minutes, sessions, and effort. Use your watch or a simple weekly grid. Avoid traps, steps without structure, trying to outwalk your diet, skipping strength. Execute this base, then we'll layer official guidelines and fine-tune next. What health experts really recommend, and how to start. World Health Organization, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, American Heart Association have all established clear guidelines for physical activity. These recommendations are not arbitrary. They are based on decades of extensive research involving millions of people. The core recommendation is to aim for at least 150 to 300 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity each week. This is the foundational target for reducing health risks and maintaining well-being. What exactly does moderate intensity mean? For most people, it translates perfectly to a brisk walk. This is a pace where your heart rate is elevated and you are breathing more heavily, but you can still hold a conversation. The guidelines suggest spreading this activity throughout the week, which breaks down to about 30 to 60 minutes on most days. Alternatively, for those who prefer more vigorous exercise, the recommendation is 75 to 150 minutes per week jogging running. These guidelines are designed primarily for general health improvement, reducing the risk of chronic diseases like heart disease, type 2 diabetes, certain cancers. While fat loss is a welcome side effect, it is not the primary focus of this minimum recommendation. The 150-minute weekly target is the threshold where significant health benefits begin to accumulate. It is the point where you start to see measurable improvements in blood pressure, cholesterol levels, and insulin sensitivity. Viewing this target as your non-negotiable base for health, rather than a magic bullet for weight loss, sets a more realistic and sustainable expectation for your walking journey. Therefore, the first step in building your plan is to commit to meeting this baseline. Before you even think about step counts or calories burned, focus on consistency. Can you carve out 30 minutes for a brisk walk, 5 days a week? This initial goal is powerful because it is achievable for most people. It shifts the focus from an intimidating weight loss target to a simple, repeatable action. By establishing this habit, you are building the essential foundation upon which a more targeted fat loss strategy can be successfully constructed. It is the first, most critical act of showing up for your long-term health. Myth: you must hit 10,000 steps. One of the most persistent ideas in modern fitness is the belief that 10,000 steps is the magic number for health and weight loss. However, the origin of this number has nothing to do with scientific research or physiological data. It began as a marketing slogan in Japan in the 1960s. It was used to promote a new pedometer. The device was called Manpo-K, literally 10,000 steps meter. The good news: you do not need to hit 10,000 steps to see profound health benefits. Large-scale cohort studies show significant reductions in mortality risk begin at much lower step counts. Increasing daily steps from a very low level to 4,000 to 7,000 can dramatically lower your risk of premature death and heart disease. From a fat loss perspective, 10,000 steps is equally misleading. Weight change is dictated by overall calorie balance, energy in versus energy out. Walking 10,000 steps burns calories, but it doesn't automatically create a calorie deficit. If your diet remains unchanged, you may not lose any weight. Don't treat 10,000 as all or nothing. Don't be discouraged if you hit 7,000 or 8,000 steps. That's still excellent. The real magic is not the number, but the consistent habit of daily movement, whatever your step count. Myth: you can outwalk a bad diet. A common and tempting belief is that you can erase poor food choices simply by exercising more. Consider the energy dynamics at play. A dedicated 1-hour brisk walk might burn around 300 to 400 calories. In contrast, it is incredibly easy to consume that many calories in just a few minutes. The data clearly shows that exercise alone typically leads to only modest average weight loss. Results were substantially greater and more reliable when that exercise was paired with a calorie-reduced diet. The combination is synergistic. Dietary changes create the primary calorie deficit, while the walking contributes to that deficit and makes weight loss more sustainable. Therefore, abandon the idea that you can outwalk your diet. Your walk is not a punishment for what you ate or a license to eat more later. It is a positive, proactive behavior for your health and well-being. Myth: slow walking burns the most fat. You may have heard the advice to burn the most fat, exercise at a low intensity. This idea comes from a physiological truth. At lower intensities, your body uses a higher percentage of energy from fat. Crucial point: total calorie burn per minute goes way up. A brisk walk burns far more total calories in the same time than a slow stroll, and therefore burns more total fat. Think 60% of a small pizza or 40% of a very large pizza. You still get more pizza with the larger one. Same principle here. Small clinical trials found those doing higher intensity walking with faster intervals lost significantly more abdominal fat than women who only did slow, steady walks. Takeaway: any walking is good, but if fat loss is your goal, walk with purpose. You now have the toolkit to stop chasing numbers and start a real-world plan that works. If this helped, subscribe for more evidence-based strategies.